Okay, so today you are on your second day of Sequences in Series unit. Today is Tuesday, April 21st. And if you recall from yesterday's notes, you learned what it meant to be a recursive formula. The one thing I want you to remember about a recursive formula is that it uses previous terms. We talked about what the Fibonacci sequence is and how we get to the next term, and then how we wrote that as a recursive formula. Remember, we said n minus 1, when you see it's sub n minus 1, that's talking about the previous term, whereas n minus 2 would be talking about the second previous term. So for instance, to get 34, we added 21 and 13. 21 would be the previous term, and 13 would be the second previous term. So let's go to example 1. Every example that you do today, I want you to write it in your notes. We're going to go through 4 examples, and that will be the end of the lesson today. So our first example, it says to find the first 5 terms of each sequence. They gave you the first term, they gave you what we call the recursive formula, and they want us to find the first 5 terms. Here it's just saying that n has to be greater than or equal to 2. That's just a limit for, and you'll see why it has to be greater than 2 based on what our equation is saying right here. So let's put our answer right here. So our answer says, find the first 5 terms. I already know what my first term is. My first term is 14. What I need to do is find the next 4 terms. So the next one I need to do is find a sub 2. And the way we're going to find a sub 2 is we're going to, let's put that here, a sub 2. We're going to realize that 2 is really in place of n. So anywhere we see an n, we're going to put a 2. So this is going to say a sub 2 minus 1 plus 9. Okay, well, now it says a sub 2 is equal to a sub, well, 2 minus 1 is 1. So a sub 1 plus 9. So a sub 2 is equal to a sub 1. Well, I know a sub 1 is 14, so I can replace a sub 1 with 14 plus 9. So that means that a sub 2 is going to be 23 because 14 plus 9 is 23. So that was what I wanted to show you guys. This is the long way of doing this. Remember, if you just want to read n minus 1 as previous term, it's so much easier. So once again, if you read this formula, a sub n minus 1, if you read it as previous term plus 9, that's very easy. Look, all we had to do is do 14 plus 9, and we got 23. So let's find a sub 3. So a sub 3 is going to be the previous term plus 9. So, well, if we're trying to find this term, previous term is 23, plus 9 is, let's see, 23 plus 10 is 33, so 32. A sub 4 is going to be previous term plus 9. Well, my previous term is 32 now. So 32 plus 9, which is 41. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got one more to do. A sub 5 is going to be, once again, previous term plus 9. Previous term is 41 now. 41 plus 9 is 50. So our answer is these 5 terms right here. All right, example 2, once again, in your notes, copy this down. A sub 1 is 6, and then we have our formula right here. 2 times a sub n minus 1 minus 5. Well, I'm going to write the first 5 terms here. I know my first term is 6. I got to find the next terms. So once again, anytime you see a sub n minus 1, we're going to read that as previous term. Okay, so that means that if I was trying to find a sub 2, this is going to be 2 times the previous term minus 5. My previous term right now is 6. So it's going to be 2 times 6 minus 5. That's 12 minus 5, which is 7. All right, a sub 3 is going to be 2 times the previous term. My previous term now is 7. So that's going to be 2 times 7 minus 5. So that's 14 minus 5, which is 9. A sub 4. So once again, following the formula, 2 times the previous term, which is 9 now, minus 5. So 2 times 9 minus 5. So that's going to be 18 minus 5 is 13. We got one more to do, a sub 5. Following the formula, 2 times the previous term, which is 13, minus 5. 2 times 13 minus 5. That's going to be 26 minus 5, which is 21. There's our answer. Example 3. Again, find the first 5 terms. A1 is 354. They gave us our formula. So my answer is going to start with 354, and then I have to find out what the next ones are. So let's look at this. We got another a sub n minus 1. Again, that means previous term. So it's asking us to add the previous term plus 6 and then divide that by 3. So let's see here. If I was finding a sub 2, so my previous term is 354 plus 6 divided by 3. Now, I downloaded this really cool app. It's not a really cool app, but it's a calculator, the Desmos calculator, but not the Desmos graphing calculator. The Desmos scientific calculator is really nice. So what's really nice about it is that it's super user-friendly. You can type in fractions and it puts it in fraction form. So we can just type in exactly what we wrote down. It was 354 plus 6, and I'm going to press the bottom, the denominator, and divide it by 3. Hit enter, and it gives us 120. So that means my next term is 120. So a sub 3 is going to be, we have previous term plus 6 divided by 3. My previous term is 120. So 120 plus 6 divided by 3. Put that in the calculator, and that's going to give you 42. A sub 4, previous term plus 6. My previous term is 42. Divide that by 3. So 42 plus 3 plus 6 divided by 3. Do that in the calculator, and that gives me 16. We need to do one more. A sub 5 is going to be the previous term plus 6 divided by 3. My previous term now is 16 plus 6 divided by 3. Put that in the calculator, and let me show you when you do put this in the calculator. Let's see, what was it again? It was 16 plus 6, divide that by 3. It gives it to you in a decimal form, but you can just press the little fraction button to the right of it, and it puts it in a fraction form. So 22 over 3 is the 5th term. And that is the first 5 terms of that sequence. I believe we have one more example. Yes. Okay, find the first 5 terms. This time we have A1 is 3, A2 is 4, and then we have a recursive formula right here. I'm going to write my answer here. My first term is 3. My second term is 4. A sub n minus 1, previous term is what that means. A sub n minus 2 is your second previous term. Okay, so if I was trying to find a sub, what do we got? 1, 2, we're at 3. We're going to say previous term, which is my first previous term is 4, times the second previous term, so the one before that, which is 3. Well, 4 times 3 is 12, so that's going to be my next term. So a sub 4 is going to be the previous term, which is going to be 12, times the second previous term, the one before that, so 4. So this is 12 times 4, which is 48. And our last one, a sub 5. So this is my previous term times the one before, 48 times 12, which is a big number. 48 times 12 is 576. And there is our first 5 terms. And that is the end of today's lesson. You'll notice the assignment for tomorrow. Today's Tuesday. You don't have an assignment today. If you want to get a head start, of course you can. Tomorrow's going to be an assignment day. No video, no notes. Just go ahead and complete the assignment. And I will see you on Thursday.